7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new world record for the elbow plank, 9 hours and 30 minutes. Not 9 minutes and 30 seconds, 9 hours and 30 minutes. That's right. It's not clickbait. So Daniel Scali from Australia just broke this world record by beating the previous world record of 8 hours, 15 minutes and 15 seconds. That was by George Hood. These outlandish numbers, they don't even make sense. Most people start vibrating like a Nokia 3310 after 2 minutes of holding themselves in a plank, myself included. So anyways, let me break down how exactly he did this, his journey, his experience of doing this world record, and let me explain the science behind it. How could you possibly improve your elbow plank, and what goes into setting a world record, a number that doesn't even make sense and science can't fully explain something like this. So let's get right into today's video without any further ado. Let's get started. So obviously, athletes that set the world record for elbow plank, like Daniel and like George, they have tremendous mental fortitude and pain tolerance. They just know how to revel in that pain and push through it like no other person can possibly do. Apart from that, they also have very good genetics, the bone structure to support something as crazy as this. And most people, 99.9% of people, including me and you, we probably shouldn't aspire for something like this because it's just not something realistic. It's a world record for a reason. So this was the experience of Daniel Scali in trying to set the world record. He even vomited while trying to hold that position because that's how taxing it is on your body and mind.
7-hour mark came, my body started to turn on me a little bit. I started to feel a bit of vibration and shaking, and that's when I started to actually vomit on myself.
And not just that, Daniel also suffered from a condition called complex regional pain syndrome, CRPS. This condition or disease of his ended up being a gift in trying to set this world record because he knew exactly how to handle pain and he knew how to push through to break that barrier and set the new world record.
I suffer from a condition called complex regional pain syndrome. So anything like soft touch, movement, wind, water will cause me pain.
Now let's delve a little bit into the human anatomy and understand what is the best possible condition to do elbow plank for the longest time possible. So there's two things you need to think about when it comes to this. The first is your scapula position and second is the position of your pelvis. Your scapula, rather than having it retracted or adducted, let it protract forward like this in an abducted position. And your pelvis, rather than having it tilt forward into a posterior pelvic tilt, have it tilt backward into an anterior pelvic tilt. Like a Donald Duck or someone that's trying to twerk, you basically get the idea. So the perfect position to reduce the amount of core activation, which is something that will be tested a lot in a position like an elbow plank, is going to be protracted scapula and anterior pelvic tilt. Doing the exact opposite would increase the amount of core activation, which means your core muscles will get fatigued really soon and then you'll start shaking like a salt shaker, which we don't want. So this is one trick, one hack per se that you can try in considerably increasing the amount of time that you can do your elbow plank, because that tremendously shifts the amount of pressure from your core onto your joints, right? So that's something that these people do. They keep varying their positions very slightly, ever so, because I can't even imagine what it is like to hold an elbow plank for hours on end. It's just something that science can't explain. So it's a combination of proper technique, unbelievable mental resolve, and really good genetics. That's what it takes to set a world record. So this is how Daniel Scali did it. Again, hats off to him. I'm not wearing a hat. Maybe I'll wear it and then do that again. Anyways, a lot of respect to him for being able to pull off something this incredible. Congrats. And he's also trying to spread more awareness on his condition, CRPS, which rightfully so, he did it. And now lastly, before we end this video, let's talk about the elbow plank itself as an exercise. How good of an exercise is it? If you're a complete beginner and you don't have enough core strength, you can barely hold the elbow plank for say 30 seconds or 40 seconds, doing this exercise will greatly benefit you. It teaches you how to reinforce proper body posture and to hold yourself, to activate your core And that's something that I think every single person should be able to do. If you're able to do it for more than 1 minute, you're better than the average person by a long shot. And if you're able to hold it for 2 minutes, I'd say that you can consider yourself to be fit. And anything beyond that, I don't think it's worth pursuing, because beyond 2 minutes, you're not really training strength, you're not really gaining muscle or training for hypertrophy by holding the elbow plank, you're not really getting the best out of endurance as well. So it's not exactly the best way to train for power, for athleticism, for strength, for endurance, for anything. It's just something basic that everybody should be able to do, and it is something that you should learn. If you're somebody that can't even hold it for a minute, I suggest that you definitely give it a shot, learn how to do the elbow plank. But beyond that, there's much better ways to improve your strength, your athleticism, your muscle gain, hypertrophy, your power, your athletic performance, and that goes down to proper weight training, doing the main compound movements, that is your squat, deadlift, bench press, pull-ups, push-ups, dips. There's so many amazing compound movements that you should be doing and can be doing if you want to work on that. And if you want to improve on your endurance and speed, your cardiovascular conditioning, sprinting, riding a cycle, swimming, stuff like that, there's so many other ways to improve your athleticism and your performance rather than just doing the elbow plank. It is something very basic that everybody should be able to do, but then again, it's not the be all end all. It's not that amazing of an exercise in terms of getting results. So that's all I have to say. This is how Daniel Scali and George Hood, guys like that, set these tremendous world records, and what goes into doing the elbow plank, the technicality of it, the human anatomy, and how good is the elbow plank as an exercise. I told you everything you possibly need to know about elbow plank in one video. Hopefully you stayed till the very end and found something of value from this video. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, comment down below what other content you want me to cover, and hit the bell icon and the subscribe button so that you get all the notifications on time. And until next time, take care, stay hungry.